You know, I really wish I could find the full video of that.
How long ago did you grab it?
Somebody sent it to me on Twitter, and I thought it was hilarious, and I have tried so hard to find the full video. Because I want to see where that goes. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So, it being Christmas and all, I just thought, you know, in the Christmas spirit. That means Christmas to me, you know. When I see that, you know, gray aliens, you know, getting abused by some guy by the side of a road, and his friend picking up a stick to defend his fellow gray, that says Christmas to me.
Now, see, I look at that and it just makes me think of those who came before, which
Yes.
is Galaxy Invader.
Galaxy Invader.
You know, the touching story of an alien who comes to this planet with his egg that shoots lasers.
True. With an egg that shoots lasers.
And comes across the worst rednecks in the world with a man who is cosplaying as Power Girl.
Yes. The worst Power Girl cosplay ever.
Yes.
Well, hello, humble Marty. Merry Christmas to you too.
Merry Christmas.
In the holiday spirit, I thought we'd go on the air and
Hi, William. Hi, Wolf. How you guys doing?
Nutty Nutcracker.
Criskin crackers. Yes.
Who you calling a cracker? I'm only half a cracker.
You're a rice cracker.
Fuck you. I'll take it. I'll accept it. I'm a rice cracker. Okay, I'll go with that. And you haven't even had anything to drink yet.
Did you want to?
I'm game.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I mean, that Southern Comfort's a little harsh, but
see, it's not for me. It's weird.
Yeah, they can't hear a word you're saying from that distance. No. She's explaining that the Southern Comfort is fine for her. I find it harsh.
No, it's not harsh for me. It's after about
come on,
the second shot, I'm giggly for maybe an hour, and then I'm wired.
But you're using a tequila shooter. That's like 2 shots.
Well, I had 2 of those.
So 4 shots.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's a little.
And again, I'm a little giggly for about an hour, and then I'm fine.
Anyway.
So I'll be right back.
I'll have half a shot then. I'm not taking the full tequila shooter. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit better if you're talking about me. Put me on next time and I'll explain the context to my madness. Sure. I'm not even sure where that comes up or when we brought it up, but you know what? I'm good with hearing about the context of your madness, and we do need to have you on again, Wolf. We really do. And we need to bring Shanae on to the ladies' night. I think that would be a very good mix. Am I feeling better? Sorta. I mean, be honest with you, I'm having a rough go of it. Last 2 days, I've been only somewhat productive. I don't think I can play sound through this, unfortunately. It's gotten to the point where my brain is so not working well that let's see if I can render it out real quickly and show you what I've been working on, because I just needed to get it out. But no, the last couple days have not been so great for me. A lot of lack of sleep, which is never a good thing. I don't know. My doctor wanted me to try a new medication for sleep, and he said it's one of those things where like the first month it might really suck and make it worse rather than better. And that sounds like bullshit usually, but I've dealt with these medications before, and it's totally true. Some of them are like that. Okay, so you've had your shot?
No, I have not.
You have? Okay, well, that's not a tequila shooter. That's a real shot glass. Okay, let's go for that. Yeah.
Well, since sense, you're being particular.
Yes, I am being particular.
You know.
I am not as hardcore as you.
Well, you know, I'm your Marion.
Yeah, exactly. You're my no. I have to think about that. I was gonna say some stuff, and then I said, "Oh shit."
What?
You know, there is that age gap, and you were 18.
Yeah, but Marion was like 14 in the original script.
Yeah, because Steven Spielberg's
Is kind of a
he's very Hollywood.
He's very Hollywood.
He's very Hollywood in that way.
Come by.
You're drinking fucking tequila, or not tequila, Southern Comfort. You don't say come by with.
I don't care.
I'm
saying it because I can. Here we go. Your turn.
Okay, my turn.
Your turn.
She wants to get me hammered.
Well, you said you wanted some.
Yeah. I know what she's trying to do.
I'm trying to take advantage of you.
Yes, exactly.
Steal your fragile virginity.
Stealing it, huh?
Yes, stealing it.
Where are you going to mail it to?
Pittsburgh.
Why?
Because that's where everything goes when you want it to disappear.
I believe that.
There's all those steel mills.
Oh, what the fuck? That doesn't even make sense.
I don't care. I'm having fun.
Well, here. Whoa. We need to get some sake for me. This is a punch in the face.
We were going to, but we had to come home early.
I know.
Today, so.
This is Southern Comfort, man. Holy shit. Now, if you want to have one more, I'm okay with it because you're using the normal shot glass. Not the tequila shooter. What?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna wait for this to mellow out, and then maybe I'll have another.
Yeah, you just mellow gold.
Yeah, mellow yellow.
Mellow. I think that's something else.
But I'm mad about saffron.
What?
They call me mellow yellow.
Is that what? I don't even know what the lyrics to that. I hate that fucking song.
Yeah, you know, I'm just mad about saffron, and she's just mad about me. They call me mellow yellow. And saffron is another color, another shade of yellow. Did you not know that?
I knew saffron was a spice.
Yeah, saffron is a spice, but it's specifically.
It comes from worms in the desert, from what I understand.
No, it doesn't.
It's worm poop.
No, it's not.
No.
No.
Okay, where does it come from?
It comes from the sexual part of a plant. No, it really does. It's the
wiener.
It's the yes, actually, it's the stamen and pistil of a flower. Now, what the saffron flower? I think there's another definition for it or designation for it, but I can't remember what it's called. But it's called it. When you put it into food, not only does it flavor it, the big deal is that it also colors it, and it colors it a yellow color. You also use it for clothing.
She is always trying to steal my fluids. She keeps them in a jar in the closet.
For art projects.
Oh, okay. You make your own ammonia with my sacred fluid.
I do it with everybody.
How does that work exactly?
What, ammonia?
Turning piss into ammonia.
Oh, you ferment it. You
whiz in a bottle and you put a cap on it and just leave it under the bed for a couple of days or weeks?
For a couple of weeks, yeah. And what happens is it separates.
So like all those trucker piss bottles are full of ammonia?
Yes.
Okay, well then.
Yeah, what happens is it actually separates out into sediment and other things and ammonia. So, yeah. Fun with science. Iron Castle Night, or Cast Night, sorry. I just keep my fluids in a mason jar alongside a ray figure. You mean you don't put her in it?
Oh.
It's a piss ray?
Oh. Okay, so
I would make a piss ray.
This is not a complete video.
If we found one at the Goodwill, should we make a piss ray?
Why not? Sure, why not? I'm so lost.
I have jars.
Okay, I am so fucking lost here. I don't even know what we're talking about.
What were you gonna say?
So my brain hasn't been working well lately, and I haven't been doing all that great. And it's gotten to the point where even writing, I'm not really getting a lot out. And usually when it's this bad, I've got to change art forms. And I just finished cover art, so I don't feel like doing another digital painting that I spent weeks on. Um, and I figured, I had an idea for a Kanye video
Mhm.
to
No,
put
it's ye now.
yeah. And I'll play what I've got. This is incomplete, so this is my Christmas gift to you. Something really offensive. We'll see if it gets a little.
You said that it's not complete
Yeah.
yet? Okay, yeah.
So this is a work in progress. Hopefully, I'll have it up by next week on the Head Trauma channel.
We should have like a warning that you can have up when you run these things that
Okay.
says that it's a work in progress.
Oh, this is the work in progress, and probably we'll see if it's offensive enough to get the show pulled. It'll tell me that YouTube won't host it.
It is also true that Kanye West is a person with bipolar disorder, and this is a person in the middle of a manic episode, because there's no other way to explain his behavior. It's not performance art.
There's one thing I hate about this world more than anything. It is the juice. Everywhere I look, all I see is juice. Orange juice, apple juice, cranberry juice, vagina, vagina, vagina.
So what do you think of that? That, by the way, the song is called.
It's called Juice.
Yeah, Juice by the Revolting Cocks.
Because they're awesome. Iron Cast Knight says solid potential there. Fair Maiden loves it.
Well, it's like, I don't know. It was just people were so reacting. It's just like, look, it's another crazy celebrity saying crazy shit. Why is everyone so flipped out? Seriously. Well, of all the bizarre fucking shit to come out of celebrities' mouths in the last 2 years.
Because he's one of the he is of one of these sacred groups that is saying things they don't like.
I don't know. It's just the amount of, hey, Zhang, what's going on? The amount of bizarre shit that celebrities have said that was just outright racist already. That one thing, Kanye going on an unhinged rant. I mean, it's like, doth protest too much, maybe?
Well, it's the protesting at all.
Yeah, it's like, usually if someone that crazy is ripping on me, it's funny. In fact, remember when we did?
Which thing?
Oh, when we did the Black Panther episode.
Oh, yeah.
And we got the guy in there that was really salty and was going after, actually, he was going after you, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, he was going after all of us, but no, he was going after Janelle. He was specifically going after Janelle. And, which was just out of all of us, why go after Janelle? Ironcast Knight, my Raltz's minigun shirt arrived, and I look forward to wearing it under my motorcycle jacket. If I ever unzip in public, bam, they'll be staring at something short shooting caustic fluids.
Damn straight.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, I actually had to. Now, TeePublic is wonderful. Don't get me wrong. When I got my Ralt shirt, the only reason why I didn't immediately take pictures of it is that it actually had an error in the printing. But to TeePublic's credit, they immediately corrected it, and they're sending me a replacement. So, that's awesome.
And I'm sure you've all seen the graphic, but why the hell not? This is what's on the Ralt's minigun t-shirt. And isn't that just a sight to behold?
Yes, it is.
Done by J.E.C. of all people.
J.E.C., if you're listening, you are a bad man. That picture that you did of Batman and Superman as a couple expecting a baby was just horrifying.
And now, for absolutely no reason, me at 18, going to the prom.
Okay. Because why not?
Because why not?
I keep trying to find this.
Me now with a rat.
Oh, Lucifer.
Yeah, that was the name of the rat. And no, it's not because of any satanic reason. We named the rat Lucifer because we thought it would be really hilarious to name the first batch of rats all after demons.
Yes.
Because it was funny.
Yes.
But yet then we decided to call Zed instead of a demon name.
Yeah.
And Moloch died within the first 3 days because he was sick.
Yeah. Poor little guy.
So I guess his name wasn't to be.
No. We may have to have Return of Moloch.
I kind of wonder if that's why they're so upset, Fair Maiden. And I mean, really, that whole bit about, I know that Ben Shapiro pissed his pants over the whole bit about him going off on Netanyahu. It's like, that was hysterical.
Well, it was hysterical because it was obvious he just decided he was going to bring those two things up on stage and make something up, and just he himself started laughing, while he was trying to come up with something to do. It was hilarious.
And it's like, yeah, I mean, and okay, so he's telling some truths that Hollywood is really, really fucking corrupt. What a shock! As if we didn't know.
Well, just because also, them going off on the fact that he, apparently is diagnosed bipolar. It's like, so what?
You're bipolar.
Yeah, I'm bipolar. Carrie Fisher was bipolar. What's that have to do with it? Yes, people who are bipolar tend to do very weird shit, but
well, I mean, the thing is that you can have people go on the internet and talk about wanting to exterminate the you have what black nationalists saying about speeches about wanting to exterminate all whites.
Yeah.
That stay up. In fact, people give them money, right?
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Tons of money.
But yet the Kanye video has been disappeared from the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to find it in full. I can't find it anymore.
Yeah, they have disappeared.
It's like, really? You're that scared that Kanye said these things?
Yes.
And it's like, I don't know. It's like a little too sensitive there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Especially in this day and age.
Well, by reacting this way, they're drawing attention too.
Yeah.
If they would just shut up and just, let everybody laugh and go, oh, all that Kanye, he would just be, yet another, Hollywood nut job.
Well, think about when Hulk Hogan went off on black people and said a lot of really horrible slurs.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't disappear that from the internet. They put it fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I type it in, I could go find the recording right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the other thing. That used to be the tactic of, if you're going to have somebody, say something you don't like, either you act like, you personally ignore it because, bringing attention to it is the worst thing that could happen, or you put it front row and center and you create the narrative.
Yeah.
They're doing a horrible job of that. No, he may have bipolar. But what the fuck's that got to do with it?
Sure, I would like to. I want to put more of the clips of Kanye in the video saying really funny shit. Mm-hmm. I would love to get the Netanyahu speech. I'd also like to get him talking about how he loves Hitler. This is like the comic timing. I can't believe that this is sheerly mania. I mean, the timing was too good on that line.
No, it's not mania.
He was trolling hard. Yeah. That was hard trolling.
No, I've seen Mania. That was not this.
No, that was not a Mania. Actually, Mania's in males.
Mania is Tom Cruise.
That's true, yeah.
Tom Cruise on, was it Oprah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Mania.
But no, often male bipolars, which by the way is rare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is rare.
They tend to, when they're in a mania, more often than not, they get really violent and aggressive.
Trying to remember what it was my uncle did. I just know that he was diagnosed because he spent 4 days without sleep and had to be committed for a couple of days, for observation. And I'm trying to remember what it was he did during that time, but yeah.
Yeah. When Kanye was going on about Bush, they didn't seem to mind. That was all over the place, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or when he decided to rip on, what was it, Taylor Swift to her face?
Yeah.
I just gotta say.
Fizz asks, is Kanye actually a neo-Nazi or is he doing a Trump?
I think he's doing a Trump, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, the easiest way to speak truths is to play the jester.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got to admit that after watching Razor Fist's video, seeing that even though Michael Jackson was definitely abused and messed up, that Razor put forth a very convincing case that he was actually innocent.
Yeah.
And the thing was, all the stuff about him being pedo really started coming out when he started saying things like what Kanye's saying now.
Yeah.
I mean, identical. Prince also said similar things. So, I mean, this isn't the first time.
No. Aloe says that YouTube decided to kick her out of the app. That's
what?
Bizarre.
Out of YouTube?
Were you able to come back?
Well, she's commenting there. I mean, I've set up the account for Rumble. I just got to get it all set up. Maybe I'll just leave and say fuck it and stop doing YouTube entirely, because YouTube is just shit. It really is. So what exactly did they do to you? And is there any way I can write it? Because that's bull. I mean, people are constantly being unsubscribed from it. I mean, that's just a given. Let's see. Let's pin that. And you have a wrench, so you should be fine. I don't know.
Maybe it was the YouTube program just in general.
YouTube's getting shittier and shittier.
Well, I know when I run it during the week, occasionally it will just randomly boot me out, and I'll have to log back in. Yeah. What are you looking at?
I was going to add My Cousin Vinny to the list.
Oh.
Of films you want to get.
We were.
I had forgotten how funny that film is, and they don't make comedies anymore.
No, they don't.
There are no comedies anymore.
No.
Well, there are, but they're all indie. Like, what was it? Uncle Peckerhead?
Yeah, Uncle Peckerhead.
I mean, that was pretty good, but that was an indie film. I'm sure nobody's heard of it.
Would you count Psycho Goreman as a comedy?
Oh, fuck yeah. But again, purely indie. And I'm going to be honest, unfortunately for Psycho Goreman, I think anyone who is under a certain age isn't going to get a single fucking joke.
No,
that is the problem with Psycho Goreman, is I don't think there are many Zoomers, unless they were big on 90s culture, are going to get any of the jokes.
Well, it's kind of like Venture Brothers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Martin. This kid that used to live across the street, I was teaching how to do 3D modeling. His parents had hired me to teach him how to be a 3D modeler. It was a skill I have.
I need to get you Blender.
I just got to sit down and teach myself how to use it. I mean, it's just been so goddamn long. But I remember we had asked him, it was like we were talking about Adult Swim, and this is when Venture Brothers was on, and he liked Aqua Teens. But I said, well, yeah, but Venture Brothers. He said, look how old I am. I don't understand a single joke. It's like, you got a point.
I was like, yeah,
okay, kid. Yeah, you're in high school. You've got a point. You weren't even alive for any of these.
Well, and
like Johnny Quest.
To be fair, there are jokes in Venture Brothers that the only reason why I got them was because I knew, people like Ishii or other people who are older than me who saw some of the shows that they were referencing, because I didn't get Johnny Quest. I didn't get Johnny Quest until I was in high school and Cartoon Network was running the reruns. Oh, okay.
It's cheaper than renting it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so yeah. Fair Maiden likes Venture Brothers.
Yeah, Venture Brothers was something special. It really was.
Oh, Yang says that Dungeon Delver is going to do a series on using Blender for 3D printing.
Well, then I need to see that.
Yeah. And a 3D printer is a tool that I eventually want in my toolbox, but not yet. I have to clean the garage first.
But where was Action Johnny's dad? Action Johnny didn't have a dad. No, man. Action Johnny was...
Yeah, kind of been there.
Generation X version of Johnny Quest was Action Johnny.
Yes.
Dad was off with his adventures with his manservant.
Like, yeah, kind of been there.
You've been using Blender since 2017? Yeah, I used to really enjoy 3D modeling. Not so good with organics, but very good with doing mechanical stuff. I did all the jets in 3D. I did all the vehicles in Titanium Rain in the book, if you've seen it, in 3D. And I loved designing all of those. And I was trained on a program that was really good for mechanical design called Lightwave. If any of you had ever seen Starship Troopers Roughneck Chronicles, that was done in Lightwave. And I kind of wish that program was still around.
Lightwave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It won't run on Windows 10, so I can't even run my old version.
No.
So...
Let's see.
Yeah. You know what, Eloise? I wrote to Rumble and I had said I got my account taken down for no reason, or at least I was never given a reason. And they were very nice and restored it.
Yeah.
They fucking restored it. And they tried to play moderate and say, well, look, realize what there are rules. And I said, well, can you tell me which one I violated? And it was very clear they didn't even know.
Yeah.
So they knew that there was something up.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully the person got fired or isn't there anymore. Yeah, Roughnecks, we've got the DVD set.
Yeah, love Roughnecks.
Roughnecks was very, very good. It was kind of a letdown that when Heavy Gear was made, at the 11th hour, they switched companies from the team that did Roughnecks to the team that did Reboot.
Yeah.
And they made Heavy Gear more for kids.
Was it Mainframe?
Mainframe, yeah.
But wasn't Roughnecks a Mainframe one? Or are you
No, Roughnecks was something design.
Oh, okay.
Who did all the effects for Deep Space Nine, Voyager.
You're right.
And I think later Babylon 5 in the later seasons, but they were really good with starships, which I made a few.
I know. You made one for Star Trek.
Yes, and it almost got on TV. Yeah, that's my life. There's a lot of fucking almosts.
That's a lot of people, though.
I mean, a lot of these, well, I almost, it's like, oh, yeah, you almost got the best audio drama. You almost had a ship show up on Star Trek, but the show got canceled.
Life kicks you in the pants sometimes.
You almost got paid $25,000 for Titanium Rain, but your publisher sucked dick and ripped us off, refused to pay.
Yeah, hey, we got the rights back though. Lickety split.
Yeah, well, they knew better. It was either pay us or
no. Boom.
Yeah, Boom just gave them right back.
Boom was very, very nice about that. And that was one thing is I have to applaud Boom. They're like, no, here's your rights. You're cool.
Exactly. That's exactly what was wrong with Heavy Gear. And I was really excited for the series because originally it was Something Design was the name of the team.
I'm sure if you wanted to, you could look it up, but
Well, I should remember it. This is like over a decade ago. I applied there.
Well, also, you haven't been feeling your best. So.
No.
Brain no worky.
That's for sure. So let's talk about stuff. What do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, see, look, you just typed in rough VD stars instead of roughneck starship.
Yeah. And it popped right up. Well, either the search engine knows what I look at really, really well, or... Okay, let's see. Comedy drama? It was not a comedy. It's had some humor in it.
Well, original.
Richard Reynes did such a good job. He was the developer on it.
To let everyone know, we're looking at the Wikipedia entry for Roughnecks right now.
I'm trying to find
Oh, Rainbow Studios.
Foundation Imaging.
There you
That's
go.
the
Okay.
company. Foundation Imaging did all the effects for Deep Space Nine after when they went CGI.
Yes,
They did a
I
bunch
do
of them for the
remember that.
movies. And remember, I applied there because I
Mhm.
was very well trained in um, Lightwave Studio.
Mhm.
And I remember at the time it was one of those things where they were reshuffling. They had just gotten purchased by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
And so it didn't happen. Another almost
Yeah.
in a long list of them. Oh well. I guess that is most people, isn't it?
There's so many different Hollywood stories that it's, this and almost, this and almost. I mean, look at how many TV pilots get actually get made.
Look what he did after the Roughnecks, Reynes.
Men in Black the series. That was actually a really good show.
He also worked on Futurama, King of the Hill, Extreme Ghostbusters.
Oh, Big Guy and Rusty.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Reynes did some really good work in animation. He also did some really boring stuff like Jackie Chan, but
what? Jackie Chan Adventures?
Or was that I don't know. Look, at that point I was too old for that stuff.
My brother watched it. Jackie Chan Adventures, they were playing it very safe. So, it's the 90s cartoon of you have a group of kids and they're going to fight the bad guys. And then there's going to be a message at the end from Jackie himself, kind of like G.I. Joe. But as far as those type of shows go, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. So I give it a pass because it was a half an hour in between a couple of shows that were better.
Okay, I'm trying to understand this one here.
I went to a bookstore today, not an uplifting experience. Not the uplifting experience it once was. I got Colorado Bird Guide.
We went to the bookstore today too, and it was not the uplifting experience it usually is.
Screw you! There was a midget Santa out front.
Okay, yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was like the coolest thing ever. It was a midget Santa.
No, I was just talking about how the store was.
I'm sorry. A dwarf Santa.
A dwarf.
I should be more specific.
No, I was talking about how we went inside the store and it was overrun by lesbian couples and hippies.
Oh, see, I just saw the Santa and that just made me happy.
And all playing ukulele.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was.
No. You forget. They weren't playing the ukulele.
No, they were being taught how to play the ukulele.
Yeah, it was a ukulele music lesson. In the comic book section of the store.
You're like, thanks, guys. Yeah. Really, seriously. Got a whole bunch of hippies and lesbian couples learning how to play a ukulele.
In the comic book section.
Yeah. From some guy who liked to play Elvis songs on the ukulele.
Yes.
Except every song sounded the same because it's the fucking ukulele.
Well, at this one, he was trying to get them to play a Christmas song. I don't remember what it was. And
Jingle Bell Rock.
Oh, it was Jingle Bell Rock. Thank you. And I just remember one of the ladies in the class asked him, well, what's the difference between this strum and island strumming? And, what's the difference? And he goes, oh, well, this way you strum it this way. And this one is you strum it this way. I'm like, dude, they all sound the fucking same. It's just, It's just how quickly the notes are hit. Otherwise, they sound the fucking same. Draco, can we talk about old cartoons that don't get talked about a lot? Sure.
Name one.
You
can get Kat to go spazzo on King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
Hey, that was a shitty show, but it had the best theme song ever for that era of cartoons. Prove me wrong.
You know what? See, again, this is where our age gap starts to come in. Because
do you know the theme song?
Only when you played it for me once.
Oh,
it was all I remember is it was butt rock. Your 80s metal butt rock.
Okay, I'm gonna get my phone because
Well-
then it will be tinny and people can. Hopefully, we won't get banned.
Oh,
But it
okay.
has like the best fucking theme song. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay, she really, really wants me to hear this
Because it's the
song.
best.
Okay, so somebody died of a heart attack while watching the new Avatar film. So it's that awful, is it? It's so bad that the audience just died. I mean, I know that a lot of stuff is bombing lately. I mean, even trailers are like near-death experiences. Yeah, I'm surprised no one died of rage for Indiana Jones, but I mean, I suppose, I guess what James Cameron's midlife, or not midlife, late life crisis he's having here, trying to stay relevant with his, environmental Smurfs movie. I don't know. Something went severely wrong with that man. I think really what he needs to do is he needs to go back to about 1984 and go get his balls back out of the closet because he's lost them. That's my opinion. So what was it? Was it like the movie really sucked, or was it more along the lines of strobing and they had a seizure, or just somebody wanted to sue somebody? What was the reason for the heart attack? Are you sure? People are just really fat these days. There's a lot of really fat people. Are you sure this just wasn't a fat person who's keeled over?
Okay.
What about the agenda for next year?
Wait, we're doing this through my phone, so it's probably gonna sound tinny, but I don't care.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the most epic theme song I've heard for a 90s cartoon.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'd sit through that opening.
That's like the best thing about that show.
Is the music like that in the show?
No.
No, it's just the opening. Okay.
Just that opening. But, come on. I mean, for a kid who's like 8, 9 years old, my mom plays Dungeons and Dragons on Fridays. So, I go with her to her games and watch them, kick ass and shit like that. And then on Sundays, that plays. I mean, fuck yeah. Like, I am all over that shit.
It was at least as good as the Mr. T Mysteries, says Made in Hell. That's a great name.
Mr. T Mysteries. Yang, talk about what's on the agenda for next year. Oh, that's what you were doing. Okay.
Okay, so I guess for the agenda is to get Boobs of Steel done and release it.
Mhm.
And it'll be a tome, and I'll still try and charge as little as possible for it so that everyone can buy it. Hopefully we can get some money and have JC do some illustrations for me.
Mhm.
I would like to think that I would get my what is it, Siege Engine, the mech warrior type story I'm doing, done by the end of the month. I hope that won't happen, but hopefully by the end of the holidays. I mean, the progress on that's going so damn rapidly.
And we are starting to ramp up the convention circuit, getting back on that horse again. We've already secured a table for Phoenix Fan Fusion, which will be in June. We are now hopefully becoming regulars at the Terror Trader Sales from the Dark Side monthly horror show, which is tons of fun, and working on getting our books into stores. So, Dark Stranger, Midget Santa, did he also ride the fabled unicorn? You know her an ass? No, he did not. He had a little throne and he had a handler. And it actually did make me sad that most children were a little scared of him. I said hi, but he was distracted by his handler. So,
So Fair Maiden Whites mentioned a show from, I believe, 1984 called
Kid Video.
Kid Video. Now, you never actually saw it.
I never saw it. No, you showed me Kid Video.
I always watched it. That is lost media. There are, I think, there's one available, the first episode or something.
Yeah, you were able to track something down.
But there is almost
YouTube.
nothing. And that show was so interesting. It was a relic of its time. It really stood out.
Oh, that reminds me of something, but continue. And then I have a question for the audience.
It was one of those things that was like, did I hallucinate that? And they're like, no, that really existed. And it was about a band who essentially gets sucked into a Oz or Wonderland, but it's all based on music.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a evil record producer that's trying to kidnap all of Earth's best rock bands. And every week they would do a song, but you would also get to see and hear a video clip because 80s music was awesome. So you'd see, Kid Video had like Depeche Mode, Duran Duran, Thompson Twins. Like, man, the 80s were cool.
Yeah.
But it was an entire Wonderland. But if Wonderland had been made by 1984 MTV.
See, that's pretty awesome.
And everything was based on music.
That's really awesome. Okay.
And the keyboardist for the band was the brat kid in the Brady Bunch that ruined the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. I have a question. Wolf and anybody else who was in California, specifically Southern California in the 80s. Do you remember a show that was a guy who was an inventor who had a robot pal that he created who kind of looked like Conky from Pee-wee's Playhouse? And they would go on wacky adventures. So it was kind of like Mr. Rogers, but with an inventor and his robot pal. I can't for the life of me remember what this was called. And I used to think that it was a fever dream until Ishii told me he remembers that show. Please tell me if anybody remembers what this was.
It was only played in the LA area.
Yeah. Well, this is why I'm asking Wolf or anybody else, because I know Wolf is from that area. So, Courage. Courage was a great show. Have you seen Courage?
Yeah, I remember Courage.
Yeah, Courage was awesome. I've actually been kind of nostalgic for Courage. I've been thinking about maybe picking it up on DVD. Same with Rocco's Modern Life. I've got Real Monsters, though. I had to get that. Fair Maiden, Cat getting so excited had made my inner child get excited too. Oh, good. I'm glad I can make people excited. All right, come on. That song's just too damn cool.
I've been pretty glad that most of the songs that I've been using for our themes for the various shows. I mean, well, one, nobody gives a fuck about a cover of the Three's Company song.
Yeah.
But some of the other ones, like I use PIL for the writer's room or WordCraft, and apparently they're cool with it.
Cool.
I was informed that they YouTube wanted to strike it.
Really?
And then the label said, no, we don't care.
So Leighton specifically said he doesn't care.
Yeah, I guess
he owns it.
Yeah.
It's him.
So yeah, they were perfectly fine with me using a 30-second clip.
That's wonderful.
Of their first song. Yeah.
He was already like badass, but now that's even cooler,
I remember Jason the Wheeled Warriors. Yeah, that had a great opening, a great concept. I didn't like that all the cars were AI piloted except for Jace. I think each car should have had a driver, but other than that, they were essentially futuristic space cars with weapons mounted on them, fighting biologically engineered plant cars with weapons on them.
Cool. Okay.
And it had a theme song I think you'd like.
I will have to look it up.
That is okay. What about the Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers? That that show should have lasted longer. That show had so much potential. I mean, the ideas in it were awesome.
Didn't Secret Galaxy cover it?
No,
No?
they didn't. I showed you.
Oh, okay.
But
He's pulling it up.
yeah.
Oh, okay, them.
It was like cyberpunk space western. And I mean, it really was cyberpunk. It had, what was it? Basil Broketail, the author.
Oh, Christopher Rowling.
Christopher Rowling was one of the show creators.
That's badass.
And one of the writers.
That is totally badass. Look up Christopher Rowling sometime, people. He's amazing. He's one of my top 10 favorite writers of all time.
That, and I would have to say that as a boy, I really thought that Nico, the telepath, was super hot. Just saying.
Oh, cartoon. Somebody mentioned Gargoyles, and yeah, Gargoyles was something special, definitely. And it committed one of my sins that can be unforgivable and make me rage quit, and that is having your main characters have fucking kids. 9 times out of 10, that ruins a plot. And I really didn't like Krista. I'm gonna say Krista for Gargoyles. I did not like. I liked the concept of Goliath and Demona having a kid. It worked within the framework of the story. I just hate it.
Yeah.
As a personal preference, having your main character suddenly spawn usually ruins a narrative. That has ruined so many book series for me, where once there's a kid in the works, it's like the kid never develops a personality of their own, and your main characters either take a back seat to the plank of wood that is their child, or your main character's entire focus is baby, and I hate it all the way around. And Gargoyles is no exception, although it didn't make me rage quit. I just was annoyed.
Okay, so yeah, I had mentioned Galaxy Rangers, Nico. I mean, come on. What's not to like here? Betty Page haircut, big boobs. Yeah. Hey, as a kid, this character really appealed to me. This was a price of admission alone right here.
She's not bad.
And I think she was a telekinetic and a pyrokinetic.
Nice.
Each one of them had abilities based on cybernetic implants or brain implants. And like one guy could like change the the molecular content of his skin. Another guy had a cybernetic arm, and their leader of the team was what's his name, Briscoe from Law and Order.
Oh,
was his voice.
That's cool.
But yeah, Robot Jones. I don't even know what that is.
Robot Jones. Yeah. I did not watch Robot Jones. Let me pull it up here.
Robot
Jones. Robot Jones. Whatever happened to Robot Jones? Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
It was on Cartoon Network, and to their credit, he talked with a vocoder.
Okay.
So I did like that, but I don't know. I couldn't get into it. Just like Grim and Evil, I couldn't get into, but I loved Billy and Mandy. That may sound odd, but it was just it was actually with Grim and Evil. The main thing was I just could not stand the devil character in his butt. Them showing his butt all the time. Just I'm like, guys, Ren and Stimpy already spent that nickel, and I'm done with that. Oh, Cyber 6.
I never saw this.
I have never seen it either. I didn't even know it existed until, again, Secret Galaxy covered it, I think. But yeah, it's like the Shadow and Carmen Sandiego in a cyberpunk setting. It's very Eon Flux in how it's animated and how it's like an animated Bayday.
Well, it looks like it started as a Bayday.
Oh, well, that would explain it.
So why is it Cyber 6? Because I only see 2 people. I mean, for a minute there, I thought you were talking about the Bionic 6.
No, she's an agent.
Oh. I mean, I used to watch Bionic 6.
Don't know. Let's see. Wolf says, was it Robot Boy? I don't know.
How did 80s become the best decade? I think there was a collision of forces that just made for very good media. I think it was the escape from the hangover of the 70s. The 70s was a very miserable, depressing time of inflation and a shitty Democrat president who pissed all over the country and literally told the American people, well, I think that America's day in the sun may be over, and it's time we accept that as our place in the world changes. You know, you go fuck yourself, Jimmy.
Yeah, with that, go fuck yourself.
And essentially everyone was essentially waiting for the world to end, and then the 80s rolled around and cocaine came in and all this money started flooding into the world, into the nation, and you had Reagan who just deregulated the shit out of everything, so cartoons got great.
I'm sorry, I just saw Macrow's comment. Channel theme should be Lords of Acid, I must increase my bust. I did not know they covered that song.
Covered? They wrote it.
Wrote it? Do I
mean,
have that? No, I must increase
no,
my
no,
bust.
they sampled that.
Yeah, I haven't heard this version.
You have.
I have? Okay.
Yes, you
Then
have.
I don't remember it.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
But you have heard it.
Okay. Well, I don't remember it. So there.
On our honeymoon in Vegas, the what was it? One of the Vegas shows that we watched.
Oh, the Fashionistas
used that song.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't realize that was Lords of Acid. Okay. Oh, I'm wrong. If you say I have heard it, then okay.
And in fact, I own it.
Okay.
Got the CD and everything. That's right. Old school. Got the fucking CD. So anyway, we'll just hopefully the audience can't hear this.
Well, they can hear it through the mic.
I'm sure they can't really hear anything.
Well, no, the mic's registering it.
Barely. It's probably a buzz in the background.
But no, don't worry about it. I'll listen to it later. I want to pay attention.
Oh, you don't want?
No, I trust you that I've heard it before. I just didn't remember.
In space, nobody can hear you nut. Gargoyles was Heaven Sent fan for the Next Generation and Shakespeare.
Yes.
Yeah. I was ashamed that show did not get the treatment it should have. Disney was really onto something with that.
They're still treating it like the unwanted redheaded stepchild. They really don't want to admit that it was the hit that it was.
Well, how long did it take them to figure out that people liked Nightmare Before Christmas?
Over a decade.
I mean, they kept insisting it was a flop when it wasn't.
Yeah. They also don't want to admit that Darkwing Duck is the hit that it was.
Really?
Yes.
Everyone liked that better than all the other shows.
Yes.
Was it Baloo the Bear? No one get the Rescue Rangers, DuckTales.
And yet, where is it? Chippendale Rescue Rangers has attractions in the parks.
But Darkwing Duck doesn't.
Rescue Rangers has movies since they've been on TV. Rescue Rangers has video games. I think Darkwing has one. But other than that, where's Darkwing? They don't want to admit that it's a hit.
I don't understand why.
Neither do I. The things that Disney does now confuse the shit out of me. They really do. And I've been studying them as a company. I don't get it. It's like one half wants to make money but doesn't know how, and the other half says, "Fuck making money. We have an agenda."
Okay.
Ironcast Night. At some point, I need to rewatch them and reread the Max. I feel like that's one of those stories I'll understand a whole lot more as a burgeoning old fart rather than a teen.
The Max is an excellent series. It's almost dead accurate to the comics' first 2 story arcs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost page for page, a 1-for-1 translation, which is rare.
Yeah.
And the best way I can describe it is essentially Jungian philosophy 101 as a comic.
Yeah.
And you want to understand archetypes and the idea of a collective unconscious. That series is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
The dark, you know, you have your the shadow, all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's in there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can understand how as a young person that might go over your head. But I remember enjoying the series in college. Yeah, that shows my age. I think it was first year of college, second year. But
What were you, 18, 19?
fuck, I don't remember.
Well, no, because that will put my age when I was watching it. But anyway.
It's around the same time Neon Flux came on, so.
Yeah.
But the thing about that was I enjoyed it the first time around, but then I reread the series this year, and it was like, holy shit, this is basically a course in Jungian theory.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone who really wants to understand Jungian theory, read the Max. It's right there. It's all right there. And the series does a really good job of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think also for anyone who's struggled with mental illness, it's a good thing to watch.
Yeah.
And it is one of the most honest depictions and criticisms of feminism I have ever seen. And regardless of where Sam Keith stands, I honestly don't know. The fact that he just would flat out challenge shit that you weren't supposed to challenge
Mm-hmm.
was really good.
That, and he has no love for Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, that too. It was kind of made in response to.
Mm-hmm.
So
But,
okay, so I think George is on to something here.
Real quick, just continuing with the Max, just real quick. I saw it when I was 10 or 11, and I just knew.
Okay, then I was 18.
Yeah, I just knew it was amazing.
Yeah. Okay, there's your wife just revealed the age gap between us. I'm a cradle robber.
We've talked about it.
Yeah.
I just remember watching it, knowing that I was watching, a really amazing story. Same with Eon Flux. And it's just as I've gotten older, I've gotten more and more out of the story. So it's not that I felt like I was missing anything. It was more just as I've gotten older, I pick up on more. So George, 80s were great because Greatest Generation was in charge of most stuff and had the manpower of boomers.
And you know what? For all of my complaint about boomers, they loved cinema, they loved music, and they damn well learned from their parents on how to make movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, hands down, for all of my criticism of the boomers, they made some of the best fucking movies, or actually, they made a lot of the best fucking movies ever made.
Mm-hmm.
That decade, funded by Coke, fueled by Coke, managed by the Greatest Generation and the creativity of the boomers, we got incredible stories.
Yeah, we did. Amazing stories.
And the fact that it was an era in which it was a rash response to the 60s and all its bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was okay to be politically incorrect and, okay to say things. It didn't have any of that bullshit. Essentially, Reagan walked in and said, "See, it's all bullshit. See, I fixed the economy in one year."
Yeah. So,
And and a lot of boomers voted Reagan and lied about it and pretended to be Democrats. But that was just a lot of good music, a lot of creativity. And again, I'll say even the 60s, a lot of great music came out of the 60s. Same with the 70s. So, I mean, there was a legacy there. And by the 80s, it was at the top of its game. And you had the explosion of technology as well with all these synthesizers.
mm-hmm.
And it was an interesting time. There was a bit of a lawlessness to it, which was good. That allowed for kind of a Wild West mentality, which you need for that kind of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Deregulation's needed for that kind of creativity.
Mm-hmm.
It was before movie by committee was not a thing at that point.
Well, to be
The Warriors weren't running Hollywood yet.
To be really harsh, I would, at this point in time, with where media is today, I would rather movie by committee than movie by what the computer tells us.
Yeah.
Nowadays it's basically they just have the algorithms tell them what people want, and it's never right.
No, it's bad. And I remember reading about this in the aughts,
Mm-hmm.
that there was this new generation of filmmakers coming in. This was about when the millennials started beginning to replace all the Gen Xers that had started working in Hollywood, because the millennials were cheaper and the politics agreed with the studios more.
Yeah.
Where there was an article where somebody was saying, it's gotten to the point now with these producers, these young producers who are the sons and daughters of older producers, who it's all about money. They don't know anything about film, that you go in for these pitch meetings and you say, well, my concept is Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, but with androids in the future. And they don't know what that means. They said, what's Mr. Smith Goes to Washington? It's like Casablanca, but crossed with what's that? These people didn't know fuck all. And they were saying that it was getting impossible to pitch anything because these people didn't know anything before the year 2000.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't know. You need an appreciation for film if you're going to make it.
Mm-hmm. Well, to be honest, I mean, there is something to say about, being a maverick and just doing it on your own. But film schools exist for a reason, just like art schools exist for a reason. You just have to make sure you go to the right ones, but something that you'll actually learn from. But you need to go to one of those places that's going to teach you the fundamentals and crush your dreams so that you can make better ones.
Anime acid trip has a staph infection.
Oh, Jesus. Are you okay? I know you're not okay, but I mean, like, what do the doctors say? Bar one, 80s cartoons were made by guys with kids, like the great superheroes of the 60s were made by World War II vets.
Yeah, true.
Well, either it was made by people with kids, or they were made to sell toys, and it's basically just make something that will sell the toys. We really don't give a shit. Like Masters of the Universe.
Interesting question here.
Aloes, do you guys think the 2030s will be a hardcore response to the 2020s BS, or will the mid to late 2020s be a hardcore to the 2010s and early 2020s BS?
No, I think everybody's pretty sick of the here and now. How that will manifest is the question. And we were talking about this earlier today, is there doesn't seem to be a counterculture, and that's part of the problem. And there really needs to be, because when all the cool kids, the popular kids, are waving rainbow flags and talking about what offends them and their genders,
Mm-hmm.
that means the counterculture is the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So there's your answer.
Mm-hmm.
And counterculture is where the creativity comes from. That's where the innovation comes from. That's the Wild West.
Yeah.
So
Well, the counterculture is the people who says, fuck it, I don't give a shit.
it's the global situation that'll make it interesting. I mean, that's really the dominoes that I think nobody can compute. It's so random at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is this Weimar Germany or the beginning of a Byzantine Empire? Is this...
Well, and the planet has never been in this state before.
Is-
We're so well
Connected.
connected.
Is Caesar going to cross the Rubicon, or there's so many, or are we going to have a civil war? Or is there going to be... There are so many things in play that it's too cloudy to really have any idea of where the cards will fall.
Mm-hmm.
But I do see an interesting phenomena happening, that people are getting really sick of this shit. And as government fails, we were talking about this today, people are realizing they don't need government, at least in red states. And the government's getting real worried about that in Arizona.
Mhm.
Specifically, Phoenix has been taken over by lefties from California.
Mm-hmm.
And they elected a really super liberal mayor. And the police got so sick of being bullied by this bitch. They have down by 70%.
It's like,
There's a 70% staff shortage.
yeah,
of
the radio reported like 60 or 70%.
and
If Trenton's in the chat, he probably knows better. But yeah.
And what was really getting them worried was armed citizenry was taking care of it.
Mm-hmm.
No police needed.
Yeah.
Armed citizenry are handling the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Citizens' arrests are through the roof here. Robberies, everyone pulls a gun on the robber and the robber gets on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was wondering why I was hearing more and more stories in the news here about somebody trying to do an armed robbery and then everyone pulls a gun on him.
And that's why.
And then they wait for the police to come.
And the reports that I heard, at least, it's not for lack of wanting cops. That's actually not it. Citizens would call in a robbery in progress or something like that, and 911 tells them, look, you got an hour wait. And in a state where it's open carry, or I should say in a constitutional carry state, well, what are the citizens to do?
And we're seeing more and more of that here, where people are just like, well, government's failing. We'll do it ourselves. Why should I pay taxes?
Mm.
Now, granted, we know that in blue states, they can't function without a government. If the government isn't there to wipe their ass, they're up shit creek. Now, people in blue states carry guns because they're afraid of each other. People in red states carry guns to protect each other.
Yeah.
And that is the mentality in this neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. I got schooled in that
Yes.
by one of our neighbors.
You don't carry a gun to protect yourself per se, but to protect your community.
Yeah.
And that is the mentality. And boy, it works.
It really does.
Kids leave their bikes out on the lawn here and they don't get stolen.
No.
I mean, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Well, that's another one, Anime Acid Trip. The whole thing is the whole COVID thing. Trust in healthcare and the medical industry has plummeted.
Well, that's actually not what he was saying.
Oh, what was he saying?
He was saying for his staph infection, he's being given antibiotics, some ointment, and a penicillin injection, which does not sound fun. So yeah, I would rather have COVID. Oh, shit. I hope you get over it soon, bud. Draco, is there a lack of counterculture because the establishment, the old counterculture, knows how to effectively suppress it?
There definitely is a certain level of suppression, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. What's missing right now is a sense of identity. All the elements of a counterculture are there. It just hasn't quite clicked. MAGA was definitely a beginnings of a counterculture. A lot of the trolling we're seeing is definitely a counterculture. 4chan is definitely counterculture. The fact is, yeah, part of the problem is we have got all these elements trying to shut us up. YouTube used to be counterculture. YouTube used to be the place to get alternative entertainment that wasn't the crap on television.
Mm-hmm.
Now YouTube's crap.
Mm-hmm.
And people like us are getting suppressed. What's happening is part of the problem is for a counterculture to exist, there needs to be a higher level of entry. The bar to entering that culture needs to require a bar to enter. And currently, it is so easy to become a part of something. Comics thrived because you had to give a shit about comics to be within the comics community.
Mm-hmm.
Now anyone can just go online and say, "Oh, I'm a comics fan." Same with like goth culture. It's like, "Oh, well, I just watched all these shows on how to do the makeup right. I'm goth." And it's just a style that it's disposable. It really isn't a counter to anything. Back in the day, if you were going to take part in goth culture, there were hurdles you needed to jump through. You had to know where to get the records from,
Mm-hmm.
because those were indie record stores where you got them. You couldn't go to the regular store.
Mm-hmm.
You had to know where the clothes you could purchase. You couldn't just go to a regular store unless you made them yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What a concept. Another one was if you were part of the community, people would do shit tests on you. And they'd ask you stuff just to see what you knew. And really, if you wanted to belong, there was a certain number of bands and history that you needed to know of, or you'd get ripped on as a poser. Oh, you're a fake. Right now, all the people we're seeing, all these millennials and Zoomers that are, on YouTube, blabbing about, or not YouTube, what is it, TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
blabbing about their independent, no, you're not counterculture. You're doing what's popular. You're following the crowd. And you know what? When it changes tomorrow, you'll do that because they just want to fit in. There's nothing unique about them. If you really wanted to join a counterculture or tribe, as I said, of shared interests, shared creativity, when I was in high school, it was the popular kids who, essentially we all considered dorks and wanted nothing to do with. It was always about having the most expensive clothes, having the latest fashion, listening to the newest music, and what was out went in the trash. You didn't do that. That was out. We're doing what's in now. Whereas punk, goth, industrial, metal, if you were to get into any of these cultures, there was going to be bands that you had to know about. There had to be books that you had to be familiar with. There had to be films that you had seen to really know what it was all about and to appreciate it. And if you didn't, you were a fucking poser. Get out of the room. You're not welcome. You're just a fucking poser doing it because you want to seem to be part of the group. You want to be cool. You don't really love this stuff. And we've got to, again, like I said, the bar of entry right now is so damn easy that you don't have to love any of this shit to get involved. You can just walk in the room and say, "I'm part of you now. Oh, I'm offended. Change this." And I think the biggest mistake comics ever made was being too fucking welcoming and tolerant. And when, all these brats started walking in and all these feminists started walking and said, "Oh, well, I don't feel comfortable." It's, "Well, good. Let's fucking leave," is what we should have said. Screw you. Do your own thing then, cunt. Seriously. Oh, you don't like being looked at as you cosplay. Well, go cosplay somewhere else, bitch. Yeah, I was so sick to death of that shit.
You seem to think that those people actually wanted to be in the club.
No, they were there to cause problems.
Well, it's like
You beat up lame goth kids and took their records and makeup. I don't doubt that you beat them up, but how did you actually get your hands on their record collection and their makeup is the part I want to know about. Now, I could understand you doing that to goth kids. I couldn't understand you doing that to anybody else. I think you'd get knifed. Of course, if you found the right goth who was on enough drugs, they might have a razor on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you attacked a black goth, you were dead.
Well, yeah.
He would kick your ass and he would beat your ass into the ground.
Mm.
What?
No, just having flashbacks to when I was in school and the people that I hung out with. I mean, like when I first met Becca, she was like, heavy goth, and you're talking about, wearing the stuff. No, she didn't. Her mother sewed for her a silk poet shirt, a black silk poet shirt.
Yeah.
Because Becca's 6 feet tall. She's a big woman. She needs to have a bigger shirt because nothing that you were going to find anywhere was going to fit her. So her mother, and actually I was really envious of that shirt. But she'd do the makeup and everything. People would move out of her way. She mastered the walk with purpose with that look that says, I'm going to fucking kill you. And people would move out of her way like parting the sea. It was beautiful to watch. It's like, damn, I wish I could do that. And then, Andrew, when we were in high school together, same thing. Andrew's what, 6'1"?
Yeah.
6'1", 6'2" or so. Andrew would make his own clothes as well. He sewed for himself this like capelet to go around his pants, and he made for himself also a black poet shirt. And he had this walk that he would do that people called him the cockroach, because it was kind of a scuttle, but it was a scuttle with purpose. And he would put his head down like a bull and scuttle across the quad. And same thing, people just moved out of his way, and people were fucking scared of him. People were convinced dude, sacrificed animals in his backyard. It was hysterical listening to people talk about that.
Mark Mosey, also a lot of groups that were counterculture were looked down upon by society. Well, of course, that was part of it, as you were rejecting what was popular because it was, well, frankly, shallow. Was part of it. There was no value. It was always the here and now. Buy whatever everyone else is doing. And it was very much based on you had to change your outfit every 6 months or it depended. For some girls, it was every month?
Oh, worse than that. I can remember in junior high, my brief flirt with the popular group, they were changing outfits like once every week, once every 2 weeks. And yeah, if you didn't have that week's fashion, specifically from Wet Seal, you were nothing. Of course, this was in Los Angeles.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, again, there was always this concept of there was a legacy and a history behind the culture you were getting into. You wanted to know why the modern bands sounded like the way they did, where they came from, what preceded them.
Well, also, that whole bit of finding your tribe. These are people who, share the same things as you do. The music actually was written and had substance to it.
Well, this doesn't happen anymore. There used to be this ritual among various countercultures, metalheads, industrial goth, where punk definitely too. I mean, there's a issue of Love and Rockets comics that has this in it, where you found this rare record in a store and you invite all your friends over and say, I found it. And you put it on and you all just lay down and listen to it. Or maybe mosh if it's loud enough. But or you do drugs, but
yeah,
It was, check this out. I was able to find to get a copy of this.
Actually, for us, it was anime.
Yeah, well, yeah, that was one of
the,
them.
The VHS scene of trading VHSs, or
Yeah.
somebody gets a hold of bootlegs.
So yeah, there was the one thing is that you wanted to avoid the fakeness and the superficiality of what was pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, the people who were superficial like that were always vilified because they were usually dicks and bullies, or kind of the bitch no one wanted to be around after you got out of high school.
I'm laughing because that was a big reason why I did not listen to The Offspring when they were big when I was in high school, because every fucking person I knew who liked The Offspring was a poser.
Well,
and, they were a poser, and they were an idiot, and they were trying too hard to seem like they were hip and cool with the scene and the pogs. And I just couldn't stand it. And so therefore I immediately equated Offspring with poser. And now that I'm older, I'm like, oh shit, they've got good lyrics.
So Mark Mosey also had said the counterculture was looked down upon, right? You're not counterculture and you're not punk rock if you're saying, I want the government to pass special laws to validate my identity. That is about the most unpunk thing you could ever fucking want, is the government to do something for you or to give a fuck what anyone else thinks of you.
There's a way the government validates that you even exist, and that's making you pay taxes.
Validate. Seriously. You're invalidating my identity. Well, I don't give a fuck, and you shouldn't either. And you're not punk rock if you got spiky hair and dye it blue and wear leather jacket or what, and listen to these. But no. If you give a shit what other people think of you, you're fucking fake. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You whiny little bitch. Got another one here. Or was it? Was it Marco had said something about the way he'd take their makeup and records was punch them hard enough? And it occurred to me, well, actually, what era of goth do you mean? Do you mean 80s, 90s, aughts, or after the aughts? Because each one's different. You realize attacking a goth in the 90s might mean getting shot. And I'm not kidding.
Wow, yeah.
And
bye, Fizz.
Take care, Fizz. And in the 80s, goth was a lot edgier than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot closer to punk. I mean,
what, the Fontanelles?
Well, no, it was Bauhaus.
Oh, Bauhaus, yeah.
There was a rougher edge to it.
Eloise, I want to create a story that's a homage to Tokyo Ghoul. Is this ill-advised for a newbie?
Why would it be ill-advised?
No, not ill-advised at all. Go for it. I'm very curious. I really enjoyed Tokyo Ghoul. I want to see what you do.
Offspring kind of sold out hard and cucked out hard to be cool. But, I got to give it to the drummer that said, fuck you, I'm not getting vaccinated. And if you kick me out of the band, I'm still not getting vaccinated. Go suck a dick. Okay. He was real.
Go for the drummer. Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of them, posers.
But, their lyrics in the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah.
Well, again, was it... what's the song that reminds you of your sister?
Oh, God, let me see it.
I just remember the line, I'm just a sucker with low self-esteem.
Yeah, that was the thing. That was when I realized, you know what?
Self-esteem, okay.
Yeah, Self-Esteem by The Offspring. And the thing was, this was back when they actually had balls, and they said it was a response to feminism being, fake.
Fuck, dudes.
And it's here.
Was it? I wrote it off for the 10th time today and practiced all the things I would say, but it came over. I lost. But it came over. Yeah, I lost my nerve. I took my
llama back
and made it dessert. Now
I know I'm being used, but that's okay. I like the abuse. I know she's playing with me. It's okay. I've got no llamas.
We make plans to go out at night. I wait till 2, then I turn out the
piss.
Are these really the
All the
lyrics?
rejections that got me high. I don't think these really are.
No, these aren't the lyrics. They've replaced things.
Did they change the lyrics
They did.
to make them more politically correct?
I think so. That's not the original lyrics.
Yeah, I know she's sleeping with my friends. But yeah, that song was essentially My Sister in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
Using, finding guys to use. I think that's it. I don't know. I never actually owned any of their albums. That era of quote unquote punk really didn't interest me. That was.
I don't see that as punk.
Me neither. It seemed like mall punk, as we called it.
Yeah.
Or pop punk, as we called it.
Pop punk.
Which real punks really made fun of them hard.
It's not like is it social disorder?
Yeah, Gamergate was counterculture big time.
Yeah.
Well, part of the thing that ruined Gamergate was there were so many grifters.
Mm-hmm.
Milo.
Mm.
Turned out Milo was a grifter through and through. A whole bunch of them were grifters. I mean, they were useful to a degree, but after a while it was very clear they weren't really in it for the right reasons.
Well, people weren't in it for the right reasons. People were trying to turn it into what they wanted it to be. There was no figurehead. There was nobody at the helm. And so, yeah.
Goth, pussy 90s goth. Well, yeah, there definitely was a population of pussy 90s goths in that era.
Mm-hmm.
But there were also the really dangerous ones that shot up schools.
Yeah.
And Klebold and was it Dylan Klebold and oh god, the other Columbine kid.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they were only the first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Anime Acid Trip.
Yeah.
Screaming incoherently isn't actually counterculture. Sorry, guys. Well, I can argue against that. I mean, look, death metal definitely is counterculture, or was at its prime. So is black metal. And a lot of that is incoherent screaming or growling. I would say some of the 70s punk was incoherent screaming and bad playing, but there was kind of a point to it.
Mhm.
And that was it was a direct reaction to arena rock and prog rock, and the idea of the rock star being kind of the rock god that everyone looked up to in the arena, where this was supposed to be in your face and we suck. You don't like it, fuck off,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just going to get up here and shout about what I'm thinking about. And that was really what went wrong, was when punk started letting in the lefties, when like Jello Biafra and Bad Religion started making it political. And it was like, no, punk was political in that it wasn't political. It was pretty much anti-political. I mean, the point was here and now, my life, people around me, my friend Go went and killed himself. That was the idea.
Mm-hmm.
My life sucks. Fuck you. Was it? I saw your mommy and your mommy's dead. And the point of that was it was just to be offensive. That's it. That was the only point. Just to be offensive. Was it? I shot Reagan. I shot Lenin. I shot Gandhi. I shot the Pope. I shot my mom.
How about singing God Save the Queen while she's
Yeah.
coming down, the street at her jubilee?
Let's see.
Gamergate was helped by a lack of leadership. Major problems was liberals like short, fat otaku constantly getting scared and trying to apply the brakes before their brains reached natural conclusions.
Yeah, I know. Jello Biafra is so punk rock. He's a millionaire, lives in, what is it? Marin County,
Mhm.
and is praising Mitt Romney. Way to go, dude. Fight the system. What a piece of shit. Oh, and he ripped off his band members.
Yeah, that's great.
Fuck
Mark.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Sepultura. Oh, God. I remember when Sepultura was first getting popular with the metalheads because I hung out with metalheads. And dude, I just got back from the concert and there was like this Brazilian band that was playing too. And it's like, their name was like Spatula or something. And they were really good. I'm not making this up.
I know you're not.
You know what? As well as fuck Jello Biafra, I am very pleased that one of my tweets with a meme got one of the dudes from Bad Religion so mad he actually confronted me on Twitter because I had said, was it millionaire punk rock rebel agrees with everything government and corporations say, and I put a picture of him.
Nice.
And it turned out the dude was also the founder of Black Mask Comics, and he lived in a mansion in Beverly Hills, son of a rich producer.
Yeah, Black Mask, the company that screwed everybody that worked for them and went under in 3 years?
Oh, yeah. Well, Black Mask only functioned because a rich kid was paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that rich kid was the cuck from Bad Religion that I pissed off.
Wow.
Now all lefty punks, counterculture. Yeah, exactly. Talk about you know who they are? They're the new Junior Anti-Sex League.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly who they are.
Fair maiden, it's been my experience that metalheads are some of the top tier best people there are.
Real ones are, yeah. I mean, if anyone says, yeah, I'm really into heavy death metal and a vegan, and I drink my vegan latte, it's, you know what? no, you're not. You're not a rebel. Go fuck yourself. Oh, you can't handle meat. You're not metal.
Yeah.
No, go back to your mall job, Tiffany. You know what I'm talking about.
Tiffany?
No, remember that? Was it? That one guy he wanted us to review his video show about the chick superheroes, and the first episode had the girl talking about vegan. She just wanted to have her soy vegan latte and listen to death metal and do her thing.
You talking about Heroinberg?
Yeah, and we were just like, no, go back to your job at the mall, Tiffany. You're not death metal.
No.
Yeah, the song is called Self-Esteem. Well, it looks like the lyrics are not what they were.
Yeah, that or that one website.
Yeah,
it looked like it was.
It's spelled "to" as TOO when it was supposed to be TWO. So
the other thing could be is they may have run the song through a computer to spit out the lyrics, and that's what the computer thought it heard.
Oh, like on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, gangster rap was definitely counterculture. Kind of in the long run didn't help rap. I mean, for a while, it definitely was creatively productive, but it kind of really fucked things up.
Really fucked things up.
And then it went from being gangster to pimp.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, well, let's not confirm any stereotypes here.
Well, okay. People in the chat, you can tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, and that's fine, because that was never really my scene. But I was exposed to a lot of rap in the 90s, and
booty.
I think really part of the turning point, besides the fact that you didn't have to actually have any talent anymore to create albums, was it went from singing about how tough it was on the street, whether you became rich or not, there was that hard element of, I came from shit, and I'm working my way through, I'm fighting my way through, or I've made it, and look at how successful I am now, to just plain look at all my money, look at all my chicks, booty, 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 and it's
Bitches and hoes and gold chains and Escalades.
but it's losing that element of, life's tough on the street seems to be where rap no longer had any teeth.
Here's what
wasn't
people
really worth anything anymore.
What people don't remember. No one fucking remembers this. I do. In the 80s, punks listened to rap.
Yeah.
And rap bands and punk in New York would open for each other.
Yeah.
And you would see punk bands and Grandmaster Flash. Grandmaster Flash sampled new wave, Kraftwerk. There was a lot of crossover of rap and new wave. Gary Newman songs were being sampled.
Yeah.
In rap.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this kind of blending of those cultures. And that all ended when it kind of went to MC Hammer, and when it got really, really,
when it went to the mall.
Yeah, exactly.
When it went to the mall.
When it went to the mall, yeah. And people don't seem to remember that. I mean, as much as that horrible Rapture song by Blondie is, that was actually a part of that crossover.
No, it was. It was a part of that crossover. It was just bad. But I really, my memory of that time is odd, and like I said, it was not my scene. It's just I happened to be forced into it a lot in the 90s, and I think when things went mainstream, like with Dangerous Minds and Coolio, that's really when it started going downhill, because they're like, I'm going to be honest, middle-aged white people buying their kids rap albums to look like, they're, open to new things and expressive, this is this is where it's at. And that's when it went downhill. I mean, you had the mainstream people who wouldn't give a shit about rap before, like my parents, suddenly becoming aware of the scene with the Biggie Smalls killing and the Tupac killing. You had those two things being plastered everywhere, and then you had Dangerous Minds come out.
Yeah.
And suddenly white America is like, we need to get into this. And I think that kind of screwed it up. Anyway, gangster rap was basically country music for black people.
Well, it was about beer drinking and butt kicking, and my girlfriend left me and my truck broke down.
I
thought that was blues. Blues was country music for black people.
Yeah.
What?
But where's the song about the crank?
Yeah, where's the country song about doing meth?
Yeah, there you go. Well, but we did get honky tonk badonka donk.
Hey, that is a sign, isn't there? And you know what? I like Trace Atkins.
Yeah, that song's hysterical. I love it.
He's in a few others that are pretty good too. Yeah, but he has like two sounds. He has his mainstream country, and then he has that kind of country rock that he does. But honky tonk badonka donk's just wonderful.
Well, it's wonderful
because it's hilarious.
It's hilarious and it's self-aware. It's not trying to be anything. It's not taking itself seriously. You just have to watch the video to know that. I mean, the lyrics themselves prove that he doesn't take it seriously. But anyway, macro 90s rap, drugs, sexual assault, murder, and more murder.
So,
you're forgetting about the rims, man.
So you're a solid Gen Xer as well, eh? Made in Hell? Probably explains the name.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Wait.
Shit. Okay, see, this is the problem. This is a problem. If you listen to
Oh.
rap and you don't know who Grandmaster Flash is, remember I was going on that rant about if you're really part of the counterculture, there was all these older bands that you needed to be aware of to understand how the medium got to where it is and
Yeah.
its legacy. Grandmaster Flash was one of the inventors of what became rap. I mean, I guess the original was supposedly, Rapper's Delight.
Yeah.
The first one, but Grandmaster Flash, his real contribution to music was he invented, and I do mean invented, the use of record scratching and using records with tape on them to make sample loops and beat loops. And he did The Message, which is a classic and you need to hear.
You'll probably find it on YouTube somewhere. So highly recommend. Definitely recommend.
And
Man, that makes me sad though.
And I want to show something about the connection between music and movements. One of the cool things that did happen during our era right now, that I do believe is absolutely a sign of creativity, but also an indicator of how different music connects, is the concept of the mashups. I think that is one of the few art forms that it's really developed and bloomed in our era that does reflect creativity.
Like DJ Cummerbund.
Oh yeah, that's just genius.
Yeah.
But in a sense, it shows where these mediums link. And one song that I always felt proved this, okay? Let me grab
the
this.
auto-populate words that it's giving you are hilarious.
What was it saying?
Yeah, grandma.
Dig it, grandma.
Yeah. Are you gonna play it and then through the
No, I can't. I'm gonna put a link.
Oh, okay. Oh, this one, yeah.
Now, there's a track by Skinny Puppy called Dig It that I always thought sounded so much like it was influenced by the early 80s rap music. I am shocked. Skinny Puppy,
Is Dig It hyphenated?
No. There we go. Found it. Okay. Somebody mashed up the two band. The song "Dig It" by Skinny Puppy uses the same 808 drum sets that all the early rap bands did, and had essentially the same beat structures. And somebody did a mashup with one of Grandmaster Flash's songs, and it worked perfectly.
Ichi's gonna put it in the chat in a second.
Another one that was interesting is like,
I'll be right back.
people don't remember that Thomas Dolby, Blinded Me with Science, wrote and produced music for rappers back then as well. Okay. Hammer Man. I don't know how long we'll stay on, but it's been good hanging. Horrorcore rap, Murder Fantasy. That didn't last too long, did it? Or is it still around? I remember there was horrorcore for a while. Was it the Gravediggers? Rap seemed to have changed forever after Ice-T's Cop Killer. Of course, that was Cop Killer was actually punk, though, was the weird thing. It was kind of more in the tradition of Suicidal Tendencies. That was Body Count that Cop Killer was for. It wasn't actually a rap song. And the thing was, that was the only song on the album that sounded like that. The rest of the songs were more humorous, like Evil Dick. No, seriously, Body Count had a song called Evil Dick, and it was about how his evil dick ruined his life, that every girlfriend he had, his evil dick ruined it for him because it just had to go fuck other women. And he was going to marry a woman that wanted to have his child. And again, he slept around and lost her, but it wasn't his fault. It was his evil dick. And then he did a song about how he wasn't racist and that he would fuck any girl, even a green girl from Mars. I mean, it's the only song on there that's like that. The rest of them are more humorous.
That is so weird.
Okay. I never liked Coolio. I always thought he was a poser. Okay. Read this one.
John, hey John. Ishi, are you ever gonna make a comic book about your fictional gray persona?
Fictional? Fiction?
It's not a fiction. I can attest he really is that short.
I told you. I'm 3'11". That's almost 4 feet tall. That's tall for a gray.
Big to me. It could be like destroy all humans except with a heroic gray. Crypto!
You know, JC keeps telling me to do that. That I should do.
But would you talk like the Duke?
No. No, he talked like Jack Nicholson.
Oh, you're right. He did talk like Jack Nicholson.
I swear that was supposed to be an Invader Zim game originally.
I think it was.
But I had thought about, doing the tales from Ishi the Grey, talking about Walter and about the Reptoid conspiracy to get everyone to drink piss.
Yeah.
I mean, I've still got those scripts.
Excuse me.
Girl talk. Yeah, I really
Like the game?
I want to get back to doing comics, damn it.
You remember that board game, Girl Talk? Probably not.
No, I remember the commercials. And I remember you laughing about it to me.
Yes. I played Girl Talk. And Mall Madness. Where you got a credit card. Because that's what girls want. And sadly, they're not wrong.
Oh, thank you, Fiona. We need to get you back on, Fiona. I want to talk about Pulp Speed. Bring the Noise toured with Anthrax and Public Enemy. Yeah, I remember that. Do you remember why that happened? It's kind of funny was that Anthrax had done a song making fun of rap called I'm the Man, which was them rapping while playing Hava Nagila behind them.
Wow.
And it was just a joke, and Public Enemy got all offended, and then they all talked and said, oh, no, okay, let's bring the communities together. We'll tour together.
See, that's cool. See, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
I have a lot of issues with Chuck D, but I will say, I think deep down, Chuck D ultimately means well, even though he says some really stupid shit. But, I think he's actually been kind of red-pilled as of late.
Yeah?
Well, actually, I think Eminem was his first real red pill.
Yeah?
Well,
Wait.
Public Enemy was one of the biggest influences on rap.
Yeah.
During the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And then was gone. No one cared. And then essentially Flavor Flav became a comic book character on TV and a joke and a walking stereotype, which kind of always was. And people would sample his music, no one would credit it. And the only person was to ever actually get up and thank the Roots that allowed him to get to where he was Eminem. Got up and thanked Grandmaster Flash, Run DMC, Public Enemy, and that was like for Chuck D, it was weird because you could tell he was really like the only person that ever thanked me for my contribution to the medium was a white boy.
Yeah.
And that kind of crushed his soul.
Reality's harsh sometimes.
Well, it's just like that James Brown drummer that all the rappers sampled.
Yeah.
The only person to ever credit him and pay him for a sample was Melissa Etheridge.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan. I could never get into their music, but I gotta really hand it to them. them bringing all those Shaw Brothers films back was a gift to the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
I just wish they weren't so damn expensive. I'd buy more of them.
Yeah. Although I am so happy that they released Human Lanterns.
Yeah. So, Ishi, could you legally be a horse jockey? In my gray alien form, yes. In the human suit, I'm 5'6", so Cat's only about an inch or two taller than me.
That's without heels.
That's without heels, yes.
Yes.
With heels, you're a bit more taller than me, but I don't really care.
That's okay. I walk on my tippy toes a lot, and he usually has his head in my cleavage, so it all works out.
Girl talk is oh, okay. I'll track that down.
Oh, I hope it's good, because I see the word girl on anything, and I don't want it. So I hope that it's good.
Walter, I want to do a Walter comic. I'd love to tell these stories of Walter.
We saw Walter.
Did we?
Remember, he was panhandling.
Tell it.
Okay, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I took another shot a few minutes ago, and now I'm really giggly and happy, and my memory is totally shot. I don't remember. I just remember
It was
we saw Walter
it was a real
panhandling.
thin, skinny, homeless hippie dude
Oh yes.
who'd said that he was an alien.
Yes, he said, I'm an alien, and I need help to get home or something like that. And he had a doggo with him, and he was walking around barefoot. But he had a brand new backpack that was at least, one of those high quality backpacker backpacks that are like $250.
Yeah, he was a rich kid slumming it.
Yeah, and his clothing looked like they had recently been laundered. And it just, no. So we were saying, hey, it's Walter.
Don't worry about it, Fiona. I really don't know what our show schedule is going to be like till Christmas is over.
Yeah. Although I am talking with the girls to have a special Christmas ladies' night episode on Friday. So.
George, I actually liked the Run DMC Aerosmith crossover better than Bring the Noise. I really liked that, and the video was fun.
Girl Talk is actually a dude. Would rock out to him in college. Oh, is this like White Town with I Could Never Be Your Woman? That was an interesting story. I saw a history on that.
Oh, we'll talk about that off the air, unless you wanted to.
Well, no, just real quick. He was an Indian who was living in London, I think, and it was just him in his apartment with a keyboard and a microphone and a sampler, and he did it all by himself, and it got picked up and went viral and went everywhere. And so it had no business of being the hit that it was. I love that song. Elias, you like Rammstein? Oh, fuck yeah. Rammstein's awesome. I just found the song Dick Teton. I'm not going to pronounce things right tonight. Sorry. Deal with it. And at first I had no idea what the music video is about until I Google, and oh boy,
yeah.
Have you heard the song?
Yes, I have, and it's an awesome song, and it's a great video.
Yes, indeed.
And I thoroughly agree with Rammstein.
I love Rammstein.
When I was working for a record label, 21st Circuitry Records, Don Blanchard, who was running the company,
Somebody
the owner,
should have shot him for this. Anyway.
What?
For not getting them.
No, he wanted. It's not his fault.
Oh, it's not his fault?
No, he wanted them so damn bad, and he was making all sorts of offers, and he got outbid.
Oh, okay. No, so he that's actually one of the cases where he was trying to do his job.
He wanted them so damn badly. We do have the honor of saying that 21st Circuitry was the first record label in the United States to bring them to America.
Mm-hmm.
We put them on the Cold Wave Breaks 2 compilation,
Oh,
and that was the first time Rammstein had been released in the United States.
cool. Do you remember the song? If you don't, that's okay.
Actually, "Du riechst so gut"
Ah, Du riechst so good.
was,
Okay.
I think, what the song is, and it was a remix of it.
Yes,
You
that's
know,
all
JC,
incredible.
I've been thinking about giving you a script just because I want to do comics again. And a while back, I saw there was an open call for what was it? Was this website was paying something like 25 a page for script writers, which that's really good for nobody. I mean,
Yeah.
DC it was what, 100 a page for the script writer? I
Yeah.
forget.
Yeah. Let's go with 100.
But a no-name company on DeviantArt called oh God, was it Expansion Fans or something like that?
Mhm.
It was like, it was for people who had various expansion for growth fetishes, and they were paying 25 bucks a page. And I only knew about this because the guy who actually he did this image
Oh,
that
yeah.
you're looking at of me and Kat, made a lot of his money working for this company. He told me, look, they're looking for script writers. Why don't you contact them? And I said, well, fuck, I can write this shit for 25 a page.
Mhm.
And they were really interested. And then I sent them a script and I never heard back from them.
Mhm.
But I still got this 12-page script that I wrote for them that is simply about a mad scientist being hunted by a God,
Bounty Hunter?
no, what was the anime that you like
Which one?
that I based it on? Mushroom Head.
Oh, Iria.
Iria. Yeah, it was
she
supposed to
was
be
a bounty hunter.
yeah, it was supposed to be a kind of a parody of Iria the Bounty Hunter, except she was hunting down this mad scientist who had made a tit growth gun, and it's just really slapstick, and it ends with him basically zapping the wrong chick and getting crushed by giant boobs. But there was a lot of gags, and it's really, really silly. I mean, maybe it was a little too silly. Maybe the guy that was soliciting the scripts felt I was making fun of him. I don't know.
No, I thought they had like done like one reach out to you, and then you never heard from them.
Yeah, I wrote the script for them, and I never heard back.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of wondering, it's like they really wanted me to write for them. It's like, oh, well, you're a legit writer. Okay. And then I never heard back. And I'm like, well, shit, I still got the script, and it is pretty funny.
Mhm.
I mean, I kind of wonder if he thought that I was ripping on them.
Oh, so he should have said something.
Because, I mean, it was having Animal House level of humor.
Well, again, the fact that they were pursuing you that hard, and then they ghosted on you, I legitimately thought maybe something went on in house.
Yeah.
Because a good editor would have at least come back and say,
Well, that and I
"Sorry,
was
you're not
recommended
right."
to them by one of their artists who said, oh, yeah, I'll illustrate for this guy.
Yeah.
I want to illustrate his stories. So, yeah, I was like, what went wrong?
No, I have a feeling something went down on the inside just because of that.
But, yeah, I mean, it's like silly as fuck. Do you remember the parade scene in Animal House?
Real quick, George Rammstein's cover of Stripped
Oh
was
my
just
God.
amazing. It's just, yeah, it's amazing. It's probably one of the best covers in my collection, at least, and I collect covers. So JC, the guy asking for the script probably was hoping for more of a fetish thing.
Yeah, this was more like Animal House meets anime.
But the thing is I saw some of their actual comics, and yes, you may have had more of a smile and a wink with it, but it was in line with the stuff that they normally publish. So again, I personally think there was something on the inside going on. That's what I choose to believe. How about that? Until proven otherwise.
Okay, and
Or are you trying to find it?
I'm trying to remember what drive I kept it on, but
The hard drive.
The hard drive, yeah. Well, I've got 4 of them, so
Well, you are an alien.
shut up. You fucking perv.
Yeah.
I know you're a fucking perv. You know, we just have to coax it out of you more. I don't think we hear enough of it anymore.
You do not have a floppy.
Oh, man.
See, this is why I have a C drive.
Nope.
You're not even going to acknowledge
No,
that one.
nope. I'm not going there. No, and I just said we need more of it from you, and then I won't even react. So,
But don't worry, it's not scuzzy.
oh, God. You're,
I'll stop.
no, don't. I think the audience probably is really enjoying
Oh,
this.
okay. It's just it's like he literally has his face turned away from me and is avoiding looking at me.
You know, because I know the faces you're making at me. Okay, I can't find it. I'll have to find it. I remember where I put it.
Did you zip it?
Oh, shut up.
Elias, my mom found out from her boyfriend, and they were like, "That's a lot of busty Germans." And what the fuck was that? Germany is weird.
Well, yeah, Germany is weird, but they do like their tits there.
Well, look at the St. Pauli girl. You know,
Yeah.
the St. Pauli girl over there actually has bigger tits.
Yeah.
She is a fine German girl. Fair maiden, Germans have cornered the market of weird. Japan has the market cornered on effed up
Shit.
stuff.
It definitely is a different flavor, isn't it?
Yeah, there's weird and there's
Japan.
Yeah, there's weird and there's Japan, exactly. I like that. Marty, how red is Ishii's face when you talk about the C drive? Well, he's gray.
So what's it look like when a gray blushes?
Darker.
Well, that's descriptive.
But what's weird is you have to understand, grays just have that little tiny mouth. So that doesn't change at all. But I can tell because I know his cute face. His eyes actually get bigger. Like now.
Hi. How are you? I'm fine.
Hello, doctor. Name.
Exactly. I can't find the script. I'll have to go through stuff. Oh, what? What? Go ahead. Go ahead.
You really wouldn't have to adjust the Discovery to make it look like a dildo or some other sex toy. It kind of already looks like one. You ever see those stainless steel barbells?
Yeah, it does kind of look like one, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
So somebody said Friends Electric.
Ah, Friends Electric.
Well, I think he doesn't mean it the way I do, but what the fuck? Why the hell not?
You going to show off Friends Electric?
Why not? I mean, we're just fucking around at this point.
Well, yeah, and then later.
Speaking of 80s music, German Kraftwerk was one of the #1 influences on early hip hop.
Oh, Kraftwerk was huge. Actually, Kraftwerk was huge influence on everything.
Yeah, that's where you're going to find the expression is in the eyes.
Yes, they do. Those big, beautiful black eyes.
The faces you're making at me, you're trying to invite trouble here, aren't you?
What, me? No trouble here. I'm innocent.
Sure you are.
No, I'm fine.
Friends Electric, here we go. Let's see.
Great. Now that you mentioned Kraftwerk, I've got Radioactivity stuck in my head.
That's the best track.
It's been a while since I've heard it. I should play it again. Although, for those of you who like Kraftwerk, I challenge you to go out and find Senior Coconut, because he did an entire album in Calypso music, an entire album of Calypso music, but it's all Kraftwerk covers. So it's Robots, Trans Europe Express,
Holy crap.
God, I'm trying to remember some of the other songs that are on there that are all Calypso, and it works beautifully.
Senor Coconut?
Yeah. It works absolutely beautifully.
I don't
So
think I can show any of this.
So I challenge anybody who likes Kraftwerk to go look up Senior Coconut. He also did an amazing cover of Beat It. Again, in a Calypso style. But it's one of those songs that I love playing for people and wait for how long it takes them to realize what they're listening to. Because it works so perfectly as a Calypso song that unless you're paying attention to the lyrics, you're not going to figure it out.
Well, again, the genius of it is that he's showing how closely these music, different art forms link.
Yeah.
That he can so easily turn Kraftwerk into Calypso
or Michael Jackson.
Well, that was a bit more of a stretch.
But it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It's beautiful. It's one of those things where I wish I could play it, but I'm afraid YouTube was, get sand in its vagina and not like it. David Jack, a cyberpunk take on Dracula would be badass. All you need to do is have Dracula in a high-tech world and emphasize that humanity improved themselves in his absence. I agree. I would love to see a modern take on Dracula, but it would have to be done by the right person who understands what makes that story work. And
I thought it was Anthony Hopkins wanting to go to lunch.
Well, yes. Yes, indeed. No, people have to remember Dracula's the villain. And what is scary about Dracula? Yes, it is that he is a blood-sucking fiend. It is that he is literally a soulless creature. Yes, those are all elements. But what a lot of modern audiences miss about the classic story is the horror is that he is a conqueror and that he has been planning for nearly 20 to 50 years him re-emerging into the world, leaving Transylvania and emerging into this new world that has developed and has found that in the Victorian era, they are becoming a global community, and he wants to be a part of that, and he wants to fucking conquer it.
Don't ever trust these little bastards.
No. Fuck those little things. But you see, she's stealing your wallet there. She actually did.
Yeah.
But that's the horror of Dracula. Yes, he's a blood-sucking fiend who's soulless and is in league with the devil and all that other fun stuff. But the horror is that he could and very well would have started conquering Europe and maybe even made it to the United States, which he talks about doing, if it wasn't for our band of heroes standing in his way. So that needs to remain intact with the story.
Well, we've been on for about 2 hours, and I think I'm ready to call it a night.
Okay.
I'm kind of running down here. But somebody had mentioned Friends Electric, and I know they meant it in a different way, but I have an entire series of art pieces that I want to release a book of. The art's all done. I just need to get off my ass and do a Kickstarter.
I agree with you, Draco. Most people have forgotten how to write villains. Like, it's amazing how many people it's amazing how many people just plain don't know that in Jekyll and Hyde, Jekyll wins in the original story.
Oh, that sounded like you.
But yeah, in the original story, Jekyll wins. And that's the horror of it. Is not
that his heroin addiction wins.
Yeah, that his heroin addiction wins. And yes, Jekyll and Hyde is a metaphor for heroin.
All right. Well, let's call it a night. Merry Christmas to all. And
yes. And you will see us at least once more before the holiday next weekend. God, it's next weekend.
And remember, Kwanzaa's a fake holiday.
Good night, everybody.